These are some lines that St. Paul spoke to us today in the second reading in his letter to the Ephesians. St. Paul said, "You were once darkness, but now you are light in the Lord. So act as children of the light. For light produces so much goodness and righteousness and truth. So learn the things that are pleasing to God, and Christ will give you light." Christ will give you light. First, a story, to work now with that text. There was a town on a seacoast that was very concerned about people on the sea. So they decided to build a lighthouse. And they did. And it was a very fine lighthouse. And they would take turns in groups, staffing that lighthouse in the evening. And when they were there, they would talk very often, as they'd been doing this for a while, about how many people whose lives were saved because of their lighthouse. How many boating accidents were avoided because of that lighthouse. And they took pride in sharing those stories. And then one day, somebody suggested that we ought to do something with the inside of our lighthouse. They thought it was a good idea. So they had carpet laid, they bought furniture, and they even put in a fireplace. And so the people tending that lighthouse would gather inside, and they would enjoy each other's company. This went on for quite some time. And then one night, the lighthouse beacon went out. And because they were all inside, nobody noticed. In fact, they'd been getting together so long inside the lighthouse, actually nobody even cared that the beacon went out. Then one day they decided to change the sign at their lighthouse. And they took down the old one that just said the lighthouse, and they replaced it with something that was a lot more honest. The new sign said, the Clubhouse. Now, what is the meaning of that story? Well, here it is. We can have great intentions in life, wanting to do things that are so significant, but little by little, we can lose our fervor. We can want to help lots and lots of people, and then after a period of time, we let opportunities just slip by without acting upon them. We can say that we love God with our whole heart, soul, mind, and strength. But as time goes on, the warmth of our love gets cooler. We can move from being a lighthouse to other people to simply being a clubhouse that's very comfortable. Nobody sailing on the sea would find any reassurance of safety by knowing there's a clubhouse on the shore. But they would find an immense amount of reassurance by seeing a lighthouse. We can get very comfortable in life and forget that we are people of the light, that Christ has shared his light with us, and we're to share that light with others. Almost without knowing it, we can change from being a lighthouse to being a clubhouse. On September the 12th of 2001, a woman by the name of Janelle Guzman McMillan was pulled out of the World Trade Center towers. She was the last survivor from that September the 11th massacre. Janelle had been a very upwardly mobile, professional young woman. She was living with her boyfriend, whose name was Roger. She liked style and appearance. She was very concerned about the external clubhouse and not so concerned about the internal lighthouse. And there she was. Discussions that she had with her boyfriend Roger didn't always get to very deep levels. Once in a while they'd talk about, does it get any better than career and clubbing? And then the disaster hit. She had 26 hours by herself to think and to pray. And she did both. And with that time that God had given to her, she made some decisions about her life should she be rescued. She was rescued. And when she got out of the hospital, she decided that she and Roger ought to get serious about faith. They got active in their church. They got married. And Janelle did not want to live the way she had. She had a new perspective on life, and she set out this time to be a lighthouse for other people. That's a decision that you and I make and renew all the time. To be a clubhouse or to be a lighthouse. We have to look at that regularly because it's really easy to slip, as the people did in the story, from a lighthouse to a clubhouse. In our better moments, we can want our lives, our families, our marriages, our businesses to be a lighthouse for other people. But it's not difficult at all to slip from that into comfort and to just be a clubhouse for ourselves. We live in a world that needs the light of Christ. People are searching for the light of Christ. You and I have been given the light of Christ. We have been enlightened in baptism. We're nourished in strength by the other sacraments. We know that we are His disciples. We are members of His family, the church. We have to live our belief. There are people that are looking to us to find out if it's true. Where else would they look? But to people who claim to be followers of Jesus Christ. They look to us to be their lighthouse, to give them evidence and assurance and safety and clear direction to Christ. And they have every right to expect that. But we need to look at our own lives all the time and ask that question. As I'm living my life right now, how am I serving the Lord? How am I helping other people? Am I truly His lighthouse to share His light, or have I become a comfortable clubhouse? Listen again to those words of St. Paul. Take them to heart, take them home with you, and ponder them. St. Paul said, "Brothers and sisters, you were once darkness, but now you are light in the Lord. So act as children of the light. Light produces goodness, righteousness, truth. Learn the things that are pleasing to God, and Christ will give you light. Look at your life. Ask the question of yourself: how do other people see me? How is the Lord wanting to use me? And how am I responding to those invitations? Am I a lighthouse or am I a clubhouse?